the beat.
Woo! What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord link for that's in the description box down below.
Yes, the finale of the week, guys. We're here, wrapping up the second week of free agency with not many changes, as you know. We were off a couple times this week because there's just not much going on. Of course, we took, I think, Thursday we were off, Saturday we were off, and still nothing major happening. So again, we'll get you caught up on everything Cowboys and beyond here in MCF when it comes to, a Monday meetings with the owners and some new rule changes, as well as a lot of stuff that really does involve the Dallas Cowboys. But player moves and such, well, we'll have to wait another day, I guess, on that, starting a new week. But before we start a new week, starting tomorrow, we got to finish this week and start off this last stream of the week with some shout-outs of those that ran the channel this week on top of the boards. And let's start off with the takeover, man, Deadfool.
Woo.
You can see him there, the sponsor of the week. And at the top there, the Cash App King. Much love to Deadfool, taking over after dark. Much love to him. You got Marco Seppian, 33 points. A Damone Clark, a Tony Dorsett TD, 33 points on that stream, boss. Much love to the man from Hawaii, Marco Seppian, repping that star for everything. And then Jason Renfro, the gifting membership leader, king, whatever you want to call it, the gifting king. Mm-hmm. Jason Renfro with 3 last week. Now we're going to crown some new champions after tonight's stream. There's still a couple battles to be settled. In first place, when it comes to the gifting side of things, you got Skeptical Fan currently in first place. Jason Renfro right behind him in second. We'll see who takes that crown down. Will Jason Renfro go back-to-back, or will Skeptical Fan keep that lead and take over once again? We'll see what happens. You got Deadfool running the boards when it comes to Sponsor Week and the Cash App King. But who's this week's overall leader? You just might have seen him. Deadfool is 6th this week. Who's the overall leader and the Cash App leader right now? It's very simple. It's the guy you know. It's McLovin.
Ooh,
so on pre-stream, it's pre-stream McLovin. YouTube does take out some words sometimes, and so again, if they didn't show up, it wasn't us, but it definitely was the YouTube, systems or whatever it may be. Much love to McLovin, who's currently in first place, not by much, over as a Sponsor Week, and of course also the Cash App King. I'm talking about it's a close-ass battle. He's in first place. Sco 971 in second. Harley Dad in third. You got LC in fourth. Grateful Nomad in 5th, and you got Deadfool in 6th. What a week it's been on After Dark and here on MCF, My Cowboys Family. So appreciate you all as we see who gets the crowns at the end of tonight's show. Now, we also got to show out by letting you know how to drop the love here. If you want to help out the channel, there's really like 8 different ways. The 4 basic ways is, as you see, Dwayne Broussard had a pre-stream super chat, $4 Dak drop. He said, "Go Cowboys." Woo. That's one way of doing the thing here. You can also jump into the membership like William Burney did yesterday. His usual, navy blue crew, showing up there. So I appreciate William Burney. And we had other people that dropped love. It was after dark or our day off yesterday. Whether it was Big D back in the membership, Skeptical Fan, Dwayne Broussard, Scorpio, 12th Man, Sco 971, LC, Dwayne Broussard. Now, appreciate you all drop the love. But there's the super chats. There's jumping in the memberships. There's gifting memberships, which is a battle going down to the wire. And, of course, then there's also the thanks button, which can always be utilized when any video has been posted or any live stream ends. You can drop the love when we're not live. But there's 4 ways that it affects that Cash App crown. It also, of course, affects the overall board. But this is specifically anybody who drops through these 4 ways. You can see here as, baby, you can let them know what it is. These 4 ways get you on that side of that board. On the Cash App.
You have, of course, the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
Yeah. A lot of ways to help the channel out, drop the love. But there's also some ways to give a little love back from us to you guys. Anybody in that star level or over everything level, there's 4 different levels: navy blue, silver, and then the star and over everything level. Those memberships, If you're in there, automatically entered into our monthly jersey raffle. It's coming up next week sometime, so stay prepared and stay tuned for that. There'll be a lucky winner winning one of these sewn and stitched, authentic like Dallas Cowboy jerseys, old school, new players, styles of all kinds from throughout the Cowboy decades and years. So there's a lot of different choices here to choose from. We don't give you the jersey. You choose the jersey on the ones that we have available, which are many, like 40 Cowboy jerseys. Of course, it's any team and any sport as well, any major sports. So you can get anything you want. But we've shipped out our Dallas Cowboy jerseys so far in our 3 years of doing this. So much love to everybody in all the membership levels, but especially the Star and Over Everything, and a new thing starting in March. The weekly winners, guys. Yes, like Deadfool, Jeremy Bramlett, maybe McLovin this week. All these guys may get a chance to be entered into this Star and Over Everything level membership, because if you are the weekly winner, you are more than deserving to get a raffle entry to this monthly jersey, gifting back to you guys. So we'll see what happens. Another little thanks to those that run on the boards. You get snuck into the Star level and Over Everything. If you happen to win the boards, if you're like Jason Renfro, if you win, he'll get a bonus raffle entry along with the Star and Over Everything level entries, which you may already have. So, baby, without further ado, as we do this on the nightly, the other very important perk for that Star and Over Everything level is the nightly shout-outs, because they run the thing here. So let's give them their due.
Thank you very much to Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Marissa Sparkle, Andy Potched, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and Over Everything, Mr. C. Bass.
Hell yeah. He'll be speaking next week, I think, sometime. So keep watch for that as we try to see, are we going to do anything in free agency other than very little things we've done? We'll talk about that tonight, next week, and we'll hear from Seabass on his views on that as well. Now let's give those shout-outs to those who are hanging in the house tonight on a Sunday finale right here on MCF. So, baby, who's in the house? Let's get them shout-outs going.
Shout-out to Rolando Rodriguez all the way from South Texas. Mike Aldana, much love. Stephen White, hello and hi. Juan Carlos, thanks for being here, and glad you love the jersey again. Shout out to everybody who received their jerseys. Glad to hear it. So, Asmodeus in the house, what's up? Even you, Lee Side. Again, somehow you're always like one of the first ones in here. I wonder why that is.
He loves the Cowboys. You can't help it.
Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself. We have, let me see, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, what's up? Dustin Roberts, much love to you as well. And by the way, I know you guys saw it as we kick off the stream, but yes, Dwayne Broussard with this $4 classic Go Cowboys holler.
Hell yeah.
Let me see, McLovin showing the love.
Hell yeah.
Make sure to shout him out, guys.
The man at the top of the board, if he holds it down tonight, he is the champion on both Sponsors Week and Cash App.
Cheese Louise 23, nope, you are right on time. Mr. Wright, much love, long time no see.
Hey.
Mystery Xbox, hello. Freedom First, looks like you were first today. So Dallas Cowboy 92 rolling through. Absolutely, we done, boys. So, baby, with that, let me go ahead, hand things off to you, and let me know what's going on in Cowboy world.
Well, we got some stuff to discuss tonight, and again, guys, tonight it is a Cowboy Quickie, because not much is really going down, but we have a couple of things to report on. I guess we can start off with children. Yeah, babies being born, because the Cowboys had another player announcing the birth of his first child.
Yeah.
It was Wanye Thomas. Congratulations to him. He is now a father. Gave birth to his first child, Wanye Elijah Thomas Jr. So big congrats to him and his woman there, Brandy, by the way. So she gave birth, and again, congrats to both her and Wanye Thomas on their first child. He actually posted a picture. He said, quote, "My little munchkin is here. Got you for life, baby boy." So there you go, guys. Just so you guys understand, it's crazy. Something maybe is in the water. I don't know, but Cowboys who have had babies within the last year. All right, and there's some that I probably left off this list, but Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, former Cowboy, Cavante Turpin had 2 kids, by the way, in a year's span. Brian Anger, Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah, he had his first kid this year.
Zach Martin, just had it the other day. Donovan Wilson, Sam Williams, Wanye Thomas, of course. Brandon Aubrey's coming around the corner here, expecting one. And so is Trayvon Diggs, another one. He already, so he already has one.
Is Mike on that list? Because then he kind of kicked
That's
things
right.
off,
That's right. Micah Parsons also on the list. Yeah.
His baby's almost 1, but he was like the first one to
started it off
start
here.
the baby wave.
Maybe right outside the year. Either way.
Yeah.
Add Micah to the list.
Still pretty young. I remember he was holding her like a football just the other day. A few weeks ago we saw him.
Yeah,
so,
time flies by.
Just saying.
So, Cowboy, again, if these guys stay Cowboy players, and hey, we got some new Cowboy fans getting birthed here under the star. Speaking of the star.
Let's hope they're born into a generation of winners.
I hope. AT&T Stadium, guys. We're getting ready. Jerry Jones won his Super Bowl, which is, getting that soccer tournament, the FIFA soccer tournament in 2026. But they're actually practicing for that in a way.
Okay.
Because they have to have real grass in that field, in AT&T Stadium.
Not just our usual turf.
So the way the Cowboys, it's really interesting, and I'm not gonna break it down for you guys, but it's a real interesting way the Cowboys are treating the indoor grass field. Because now the Cowboys are treating an indoor real grass field for soccer. It's not for a football season; it's for a football season. And it's really kind of fascinating to watch the way they do it. When at the stadium, it's through CONCACAF, is that what it is? Soccer playing. It has to be grass. That's the rule from their organization. And obviously, it's possible. It's about the dollar bills, y'all. And Jerry Jones can do it. He can afford it.
This way, though. We've seen and we know that they've done the monster truck stuff with all the dirt, whatever. So
it's different though with dirt.
I know, but if they can get dirt in there, the point is that they can obviously get, whatever it is that they need to be able to lay down the sod, for the grass field, even if it is different dimensions and everything else.
The way they do it too, though.
Miracle Grow, said Mike.
It's not anything that we're using to grow grass indoors. Let me tell you, because they're using it looks like infrared lighting to heat the field, to give it its quote unquote sunlight.
So they can have a grow farm?
Basically, they can have a grow farm. And then basically you have, while these lights are on, these UV lights, and you have people also, cutting the grass down, like maintaining it like normal. So that's the way it's going to be done in 2026. And hey, maybe one day it'll be forced in every stadium, and we'll have to do it at AT&T Stadium. But right now, AT&T has a lot of practice in this.
It reminds me a little bit of, if you guys watch the Hard Knocks or
the way they did the field.
The Dolphins, they have their own grass farm, basically. Yeah. So it feels like the Cowboys are probably going to hit up some kind of a grass
but all that is while it's in the stadium, so they're treating that while it's in the
like rabbits.
It's treating it like while it's in the stadium. So, it's not like they can take it from somewhere else. Once they take it and put it in the stadium, they got to maintain it the whole time, and they're going to get that sunlight, so they have to put that UV rays and all that stuff. Anyways, side note is over with. That's our stadium. At least we're not the Lions and Ford Field. Guys, breaking news yesterday. Ford Field remained closed until the end of March. Why? Because they found a partially eaten corpse.
What?
Yeah, a dead body was found in the facilities water, in the facility water filtration system. So, I guess it's good.
When you say partially eaten,
I'm not sure how if it was eaten by it sounds like it was eaten by deterioration, rotting. I don't know. But basically, partially eaten corpse was found in the facilities filtration cells. I don't know how that's going to filtrate. So filter the water, and you're filtering dead.
I'm guessing there's some kind of a tank or something, and that's the point.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it got. It says eaten. I'm assuming that's bacteria or something, but I don't think it's a shark in a tank. But my point is
something about partially eaten sounds.
I know, but I think it means
suspicious. But I agree.
I don't think it means by human. I think it means it's partially eaten by bacteria and it's rotting. Okay. So this is the crazy thing. Not just that, but now it's the second weekend in a row. This past weekend, it happened last weekend. A body was also found on the premises of the Lions Ford Field, and it forced the Detroit Police Department to launch an investigation into both these mysterious incidents going on there. I don't know, is Campbell actually biting arms and legs off of people? I don't know. He said he would break kneecaps, and so I don't know what's going on with Dan Campbell. But either way, the Lions, they are finding dead bodies all over their freaking stadium. Now, real football news, player news, the Niners prioritizing a contract extension right now for wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. So they say they're going to get this done after the draft, and that both sides want to work things out. And the Niners plans to have Ayuk on their roster. They plan to have Ayuk on their roster in 2024. So they really want to keep him here, keep him in San Francisco. And by keeping him there, it kind of keeps their receiving plans, sustainable. Yeah, exactly. Now, another little move here. Austin Johnson signing a 1-year deal with Buffalo to play alongside former teammate DaQuan Jones there. It's only $4 million, worth up to $4 million. So they're getting their players, set up on a cheaper way. They're in Buffalo. The Eagles, they picked up a former Cowboy. Yep, they love our Cowboy players, especially our Cowboy quarterbacks. The Eagles signed former Cowboy and Patriot quarterback Will Grier.
Oh Oh, boy.
Yeah. They signed up to, and again, former Panthers quarterback too. A 1-year deal with the Eagles. They probably just want to get some information. They got a 1-year deal. The Eagles got him. And then last week, the Eagles have added Kenny Pickett and Will Grier. So now who are the current Eagle quarterbacks? I got 4 of them. Jalen Hurts, Kenny Pickett, Tanner McKee, and Will Grier. That's their 4 guys. And that actually puts Will Grier back with Kellen Moore and Doug Nussmeier, who again was the quarterback coach with the Cowboys, so he knows. Will Grier knows him, and of course, Kellen Moore knows him well as well.
I was just about to say, you have to wonder if that isn't one of the reasons why he finds himself in the Eagles quarterback room once more reunited with these guys.
Quarterback coaching staff and offensive coordinating staff.
I have to say, obviously the Eagles are interested in adding some quarterback depth, and when they ask their coaches, "Hey, who do you like?" Da-da-da. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if we were talking like a full backup quarterback, I don't know how much weight the coaches would have had.
He's like the fourth stringer.
Talking a fourth stringer.
Yeah, and for training camp, you need some arms. You need like 4 quarterbacks. They got guys that know Kellen Moore and Nussmeier that are there. The Eagles, with the crew. They got the one guy they know, and then the 3 guys that are kind of there already. I think Will Grier will pass Tanner McKee. Be the 3rd stringer.
Isn't it funny how guys join other teams and they're still known more as former Cowboy players than they are as current Eagle players?
You know what else is going? The man, Mr. A. Lavelle, shouting him out on a Fan Friday. He's our number 1 longtime silver level member, but also the longest person on any of our boards, our memberships. Much love to Mr. A. Lavelle, dropping a $35 holler. That puts him in 8th place on the board just on the final night of the week. Much love to Mr. Lavelle. What did the man have to say?
What's up, MCF and MCW? Yeah. What's good, everyone in the chat? Hope everyone is safe and healthy.
Same for you and yours, brother.
The Joneses are clowns. Yeah. But I trust Will McClay, Dak, and these players. We are all we got, and we are all we need. So let's go Cowboys, baby.
Let's effing go. And listen, I'm 100% agreeing with you. I do not trust the Joneses, they're clowns.
And
but
we've been saying it.
I do trust Will McClay, even though some people still doubt him. I trust him because that's all we got left.
Well, no, and we've always said that we have to win in spite of our front office, not necessarily because of it.
Right. So, we have to overcome the shitty front office. And Will McClay is one of the few that have actually kept us afloat. We've said that for years, and I'm going to continue to say, even if you made a mistake with Mozzie, he made a mistake with Mozzie.
And let me know
still keeping us afloat. I'll take that mistake over the 15 mistakes we would have had with Jerry Jones doing crazy shit or Stephen Jones doing crazy shit.
Yeah, and let me know if you guys in the chat, and obviously especially you, Mr. Lavelle, in particular with this topic of discussion. And by the way, yes, he does officially take over as our stream boss.
Boom.
Fully loaded on the board.
Back there repping where he needs to be.
But let me know how you guys feel about this in the chat. Yeah. I think that, unfortunately, when the Cowboys do try to step outside of their comfort zone slightly, it has, in their minds, turn around and bite us in the ass, and then they end up almost doubling back and going backwards. Like, oh man, we, for example, make the move to get Amari Cooper, and that didn't quite work out, so instead we, double backwards on Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
we made these free agent moves this past offseason with Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks, and we did, we moved the draft in a different direction, and that didn't work out the way we wanted to. So now we're pivoting even harder, where it seems like we're not going to make similar free agent moves, right? And I know with Cooks and Gilmore, it was a slightly different situation, but I'm just counting it as general free agent moves, okay?
Oh, last year,
Yeah,
this year,
that's what I'm saying.
We didn't do shit.
That's what I'm saying. So this year, it seems like we're not only not making a similar move, but we're also, again, doubling down and going back into depending on our draft in a way that is obviously very familiar to us here.
But here's the unfamiliar part, though, baby. The Cowboys left entering the draft with more fucking holes open now. We opened up center. We opened up left tackle. We opened up running back. We opened up, third receiver. There's a lot of openings that, some of these guys will jump up. Edge rushers, depth. Yeah, Sam Williams will jump up in there. Yeah, Jalen Tolbert on receiver will jump up in there. But who's going to jump in there at center? Brock Hoffman? Hell no. TJ Bass at guard? Hell no. And yeah, they're all right for a game or two as backups, but not starters. The Cowboys just literally allowed openings to just continue to occur in this team, have holes open in this team. Again, no Gilmore yet. Cornerback, we're still short there. I'm sorry, we got Jordan Lewis, but we got no one past that. And one of these guys is going to get hurt. We know this. Who's after that? Deshaun Wright. You don't want to see Deshaun Wright out there. Trust me. So, guys, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, the Cowboys are leaving us with less holes. By the time you get to the draft, you're supposed to have less holes. We opened up 4 new holes and spackled one in there at linebacker. Well, good. We helped the linebacker spot. We left 4 other spots open now, on top of the spots we had open already. Oh, I forgot about nose tackle. How could I forget Jonathan Hankins gone? So now we don't have that either. We don't have a run stopper in the middle because Osa and Mozzie are not that yet. Sorry, guys, to disappoint everybody. So the facts are, we're fucked. With the draft, it's not going to help us. We got to make more moves, and the Cowboys will. Free agency, but they're going to keep waiting. You know what they're going to wait for? Until these comp picks do not count against them anymore. That usually is what, another month? Something like that. So let me go through some of the names that are still available. I'm not saying we should get these guys. I'm saying if you hear a name that you like, write it in the chat. Okay? Justin Simmons at safety. Stephon Gilmore, which I want back at this point, at cornerback. Jadeveon Clowney as an outside pass rusher. Remember, these are going to be expensive guys. Even at this point. Quandre Diggs at safety. Julian Blackman at safety. Wide receiver Michael Thomas. Rex Tannehill at quarterback. Xavier Howard at corner. Trey White at corner. I will say there's a lot of cornerbacks around you can get for around Stephon Gilmore price. Trey White at cornerback. Calais Campbell. Now that is a guy I'd like to see somehow pay him some veteran fucking numbers. Calais Campbell, defensive lineman. 3 tech, 1 tech. Can play right there in the middle. Adoree Jackson, cornerback. Jamal Adams at safety. Steve Nelson, I've talked about him at corner. He'd be a very good outside cornerback for us at a cheap price. Cornerback Steve Nelson. Running back J.K. Dobbins, I've discussed him. Odell Beckham at receiver. Tyler Boyd at receiver. Micah Hyde at safety. Connor Williams at center, which I've talked about. We could bring him back on the cheaper side of things. Donovan Smith at offensive tackle, which there ain't really many good guys left. Running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Running back Ezekiel Elliott. Receiver Hunter Renfrow. Receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Edge rusher Emmanuel Ogba. Linebackers, Zach Cunningham. Linebacker, Shaq Leonard. Linebacker, Quan Alexander. Cornerback, Avonte Maddox. Quarterback. That was cornerback, Avonte Maddox. Quarterback, Carson Wentz. Hell no. Dalton Reisner, which I like if it wasn't for his injury situation, at guard. And safety, Eddie Jackson, who I really like, but we got 5 safeties. So really, when you look at this list, there's some running backs. There's a couple receivers. There's a center and an offensive lineman or 2. On defense, to me, there's a bunch of cornerbacks, which is a good sign for the Cowboys. They may just be waiting. And a couple edge rushers, they're always going to be expensive unless you get some kind of strange, crazy deal. So that's the way I still see the Cowboys got to fill in with some of these players I just named. We got to fill in at least 2 or 3 guys to fill in some spots on this team, depth, holes, whatever, so that we can then be more prepared, a better draft when we get there, at the end of April. Any names that stuck out for you, baby? Any names that stuck out for you?
I mean, specifically, I have to admit, and you can call me crazy all you want, but, Connor Williams sticks out a little bit to me. I mean, hey, you want to talk about, kind of going back to our old ways? What better way to go back to our old ways than to bring back an offensive lineman that used to be with us, especially now that we actually kind of have a need for him. So, and my question to everybody here is, do you feel like he is at least as good as Biadasz? Like it keeps us on a similar level?
Last year, Connor Williams was actually the number 1 center rated by PFF in the NFL. Last year. But then he has injury issues this year. And this offseason is one of the major things is injuries for him right now.
Okay, so then even better. We can get him on a kind of cheaper, deal that the Cowboys would probably love.
Except when he snaps his ankle, we got Brock Hoffman.
Maybe go super heavy on O-line draft and get like a center later in the draft. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. Here, Calvin Richard, much love.
Much love to Calvin.
With a $2 holler. Hey, actually, this fits perfectly into what we're talking about because
hit me with it.
Said the Cowboys just want old, injured, and past their prime. So
there you go.
He's not quite past his prime yet, but he's certainly on the injured side of the bench. And I wouldn't call him quite old necessarily, but he's certainly old in NFL terms.
He could be, though, like, not past his prime, but hit his prime, his ceiling. Yeah. And now it's just from here and down,
Still seems like, again, exactly what the Cowboys are looking for, which is obviously the point you're trying to make.
The Cowboys made this happen. This is not something that was done because of a player or some. The Cowboy front office chose this route. Keep that in mind, family.
See, now Stephen White said Connor's hurt and he holds. Titan Anderson, what's up?
Titan in the house.
Much love to you.
They're happy they made the L'Jarius Sneed trade. I talked about that 2 nights ago. I know he had a really late night stream, Titan Anderson, on that. So they got themselves, they got him and Awuzie on the other side that we talked about, former Cowboy. Be careful with Awuzie. He ain't great, but he's average. Awuzie. Anyways.
I mean, outside of that, there's one or two other names that, again, I wouldn't necessarily say they stick out to me. Just that, I'd be interested in bringing him in just for shits and giggles. Why not Carson Wentz? Since Will Greer went to, oh my goodness, that was a joke. That was clearly a joke.
It's a joke.
In case people thought it was
the name is Carson Wentz. Maybe some people actually believe everything you're saying there.
I know.
No Carson Wentz. But I will say this: the real names I would give on here, Stephon Gilmore, a real way. Like he obviously
we've mentioned him before.
If you don't want Stephon Gilmore, you go Xavier Howard, Trey White. Although these guys are banged up a little bit here. I like Calais Campbell as a defensive, interior defensive lineman. We need that. Calais Campbell is still out there. Adoree Jackson, cornerback, very fast. Steven Nelson, cornerback, very solid as an outside corner. I'm not a crazy fan of Odell or Tyler Boyd because they're going to be expensive. But Connor Williams on an offensive line. I mean, Donovan Smith could be a backup tackle. That could be your, little fall back there. I know some of you guys love Zeke, but I'm more on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If I'd rather grab him out there. Hunter Renfrow, slot guy. You need a third receiver, right? There you go. Marcus Valdez-Scantling. If you want some edge rush that hopefully is not too expensive, well, I think he will be. Ogba is an option. We kind of got linebackers a lot. I love Quan Alexander. I've always said that years past. So Dalton Reisner at guard. If we, I'm just saying, there's like 10 names we can use for either depth or to at least spackle some of these holes together on this team before we get to the draft. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know if anybody has any other names to throw in the mix.
Oh my God, Nana did appreciate my Wentz joke.
Thank goodness he got that.
So I'm glad
joke,
at least one person did. Yolanda Rodriguez, much love, saying MCF. Jerry and Steve Catboy are going shopping at the dollar store to get free agents.
Yep.
What's new? Every year, clown show insanity.
Well, let's continue I'm going to continue the clown show insanity with the head of the clown show. And I mean, he might not be running the show anymore because Stephen Jones is kind of doing more of the stuff, but Jerry Jones. Let me explain why. He was today at the Orlando. Again, guys, today, I'll talk about it in a minute. Orlando had the meetings, the owner meetings. Yeah, right? This is a big one to get some of these rules finalized and such. And so we're going to talk about the rules in a little bit. Let's start with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones spoke today about Tyron Smith. And he didn't speak for too long, a couple minutes, but he spoke about Tyron Smith, and he's gone. Now, baby, listen to this craziness. According to Jerry Jones, and I'm paraphrasing, but I will read his comments. Jerry Jones could not. He said to the media, basically, I'm summing it here. I'm paraphrasing. The Cowboys could not afford to keep Tyron Smith, not because the price tag was too high. They could not have him. The Cowboys said Jerry Jones said basically couldn't take a chance on Tyron Smith hitting the incentives that the Jets have in their deal. We're talking about $13-14 million. The Cowboys couldn't risk that, according to Jerry Jones.
So basically, okay, I will let you finish. I'm sorry.
Yep. All right, so our guy here, Calvin Richard, with a $2 holla in the house. It's still J. Lou, $2 holler. What did the man say?
Oh, he said that's not even dollar store. That's garage sale.
That's pawn shop.
I know you can sometimes find a good bargain there, but that happens once every 100 garage sales or some crazy thing like that.
Lucky.
We don't have a chance to wait, once every 10 years for that one guy to magically hit. So, sorry, baby. The thing that left me just so flabbergasted is he basically saying that we screwed ourselves by making Tyron Smith too healthy to stay on this team? Because he's so healthy now that he will play enough to hit those incentives?
Maybe they couldn't chance him being healthy. Now we don't want him healthy. He was too healthy now. This is insane for the Cowboys.
Because remember, that incentive is at 70-71%. It's not like it's some crazy.
He hasn't hit that in years, in 8 years. So if he the thing is, once he gets to that point, now we're going at $14-15 million and higher. Cowboys couldn't afford a $12 and $13 million if he hit that. So that's what Jerry Jones basically said. And I'm going to read his quote, but he also mentioned, very interestingly here, guys, implying that Tyler Smith is the working option right now at left tackle.
Okay.
So that means center and left guard is where the openings are, not tackle. And I think that's a mistake because I think Tyler Smith is much better. He's great on the tackle, but he's even better at the guard spot. It's kind of like DaRon Bland. DaRon Bland can play well as an outside cornerback, very good. but he's much better in the lockdown. It makes it better for everybody if he's in the slot. And that's the same thing.
This was always the plan for Tyler, though. We knew it when he came in. He was always supposed to replace him eventually. It's just that I think a lot of people just assumed that because of his absolutely dominant play at left guard, that the Cowboys would somehow alter those plans based on his playing ability.
Well,
I mean, I'm not at all surprised if the Cowboys do that.
If with Tyler Smith in his rookie year, he played at left tackle spot. He did very good, much better than anyone thought. But he did have a lot of penalties. And it's not like the phone booth kind of blocking where you have a guard or center.
I know.
You got to be out there on an island, and that is where you see the holding and the issues with Tyler Smith more often. So we'll have to see. According to Jerry, that is the plan. He said this and the possibility of left guard Tyler Smith moving into the left tackle spot vacated by Tyron Smith. Jerry Jones said, quote, "I'd say that's a good, viable thing. Keep the idea there. Do not dismiss that idea. Certainly, he's potentially, I want to say, a great player at left tackle," end quote. And I agree with you, Jerry. Tyler Smith is a great player at left tackle, but he's an elite player at left guard. That's my only point. So we're actually lowering his total max ability down a little bit because we're going to left tackle with him. And now who are we going to bring in? TJ Bass ain't shit compared to anyone. He's all right for a game or two as a backup. We need a starter at guard. Center, we got no Tyler Biadasz. We need a starter there. I'm sorry, Brock Hoffman is not a starter at center. He's a 1 or 2 game guy, a backup. That's that. So Jerry Jones, we still got the same problem, and you just made Tyler Smith just a little bit worse. That's my 2 cents. Maybe it's a more needed position, so it makes his value more on the edge, as a tackle. And there's more guards you can get. You can bring in Dalton Reisner and start him at guard if the Cowboys had some balls. You can get Connor Williams and start him at center if he's not injured. You know what I'm saying? And you got Hoffman and Bass as their backups, but we need to get something in there. And again, to me, you don't have to even get Connor Williams. You can just draft. What's his name? The guy from Duke, who I love at center. He's a center guard. Some of these guys are out there. There's a lot of guards and centers that are viable in the draft. So you grab one of them, and you grab the fucking free agent, a guard free agent, and I guess we got our starting line now. At least we have a little more of an insight on what Jerry Jones is and Stephen Jones, and the plan for this team going forward is on the offensive line. It means Tyron Smith gone, Tyler Smith in to that left tackle spot, and the Cowboys have to figure out the center and guard spots, which right now is TJ Bass at left guard, and Brock Hoffman at center. Not enough, very bad for us to. If we go in a season like that, we're fucked. On top of that, we're not gonna have a run game. We're not gonna protect Dak, so the Dak haters can say that they think they're right, and Mike McCarthy is going to be screwed in his game plan. That's all. That's all that's going to happen from this move. Not that big of a deal, right? Fuck. So anyways, I just want to give you an example. The difference of Tyron Smith and Tyler Smith at tackle. You said we talked about it, and Tyler Smith is very good, great at tackle. But he's not elite. Like Tyron Smith is elite at tackle when he's healthy. And Tyler Smith is elite at guard. And that's the second-year guy. Let me explain. Last year, Tyron Smith played 13 games for the Cowboys at left tackle. He allowed, even all the issues, and he's older, he allowed just 21 total pressures for all 13 games combined. 21 pressures in a game. Go back to the year before that, in 2022. Tyler Smith had to play left tackle for Tyron Smith. Tyler Smith, in his 13, 14, 15 games there, he allowed 40 pressures. Basically double the pressures at left tackle than Tyron Smith. So even if we're getting a good player, and he might even be better than that, we're still going to allow at least 10 more pressures on that left side because it's Tyler Smith. It's not Tyron Smith. And so you can see what I'm saying? That's the thing.
That's just one factor. That's not even counting in, like you said, what if we bring in a center or a left guard that just isn't able to hang as much? So obviously Tyler Smith's production isn't going to look as well when the guy next to him isn't as good as doing his job.
And that's what
Although
it was.
technically those stats did come with...
Yeah, that's what he had. He had...
subpar help, you could say.
You got to remember, who was our guard? Who was our guard? You remember who it was? It was Connor... Wasn't it... was it McGovern? Yeah, it was...
I was just about to say, I can't remember who it was, but...
I think it was McGovern. Might have been McGovern. And I think we also had the Farniok. What disaster that was. That was disaster next to Tyler Smith in his rookie year. So, I know we had Jason Peters. I know he came in there, played a little guard too. But my point is, that's not the way to do it. You want to give your offensive line a little bit more. And I think that the Cowboys are playing with fire here. in my humble opinion. So Tyron Smith allowed 21 pressures last year at tackle, and the year before that at tackle for Tyler Smith, he allowed 40. That's a big difference. So hopefully Tyler's gotten better and can handle that left tackle spot. Right now, the Cowboys' plan seems to go Tyler Smith taking over left tackle, and we have an opening at center and an opening at left guard. Now, Jerry Jones also commented on the defensive side. I think they wanted to run better on offense. We just made that harder now with the offensive line issue and no real starting running back, Rico Dowdle, starting running back. So running on offense is a problem. What about running on defense? Major problem when it comes to the defensive line, in my opinion. But at least we got a linebacker. We improved the linebacker situation. Yes, Eric Kendricks in this defense under Zimmer is better than LVE. So that's my thoughts. But
Griffon81 had said, I'm not going to panic. We upgraded the linebacker room and the players lost their replaceable depth pieces. Sign a defensive tackle and we're good entering the draft.
Again, I'm going to say offensive line, we got issues. Those depth players are not starters. And at running back, Rico is not a starting running back. So that's 3 spots you didn't even mention right there. On defense, nose tackle definitely. Cornerback, I think we need to have. We can run with 3. When we go to Deshaun Wright, he has to go in there. I don't hear nobody bitching because they're going to bitch. So I'm just saying, to me, the depth, we can fix the Fowler and Armstrong situation. I'm not worried. But the nose tackle, we're fucked. We're going to get run on all day, all night. But Jerry Jones claiming something different now. He's saying he expects the Cowboys to be better against the run on defense. We just lost our nose tackle. We have Mozzie Smith, who last I read was 295. Osa Odigizua, who is not a run-stopping guy. He's just not. He's a pass-rushing guy. And, Carl Davis, is that who the guy is? I don't know. We got backups on top of backups and crap, all right? So, no Hankins. He went to Seattle. But the reason why Jerry Jones believes the Cowboys are going to be better against the run is because we're going to use a different alignment on the defensive line, which sounds to me is a 3-4 defense. That's what it sounds like to me now. So keep that in mind. And then on top of that, he says that the Cowboys were already better with getting Eric Kendricks. And again, if you saw my shorts, I put it up there. DeMarvion Overshown, he's bulking up. The guy looks like he's on steroids, but the guy is looking huge, a lot bigger than I thought he would look at this point on his rehab.
Yeah.
And, that's what Jerry Jones said. He said Eric Kendricks and Overshown coming back to the linebacker spot is going to really boost production there. Now, I don't buy Jerry Jones' bullshit, but I will say, yes, Overshown will help us. Knock on wood, he stays healthy and is not lacking because of the ACL recovery. And Eric Kendricks definitely will help us under Zimmer's specific defense. But we can't stop the run if these guys are getting blocked with no defensive tackle, no defensive lineman that's going to be able to take on 2 blockers and delay the offensive lineman getting to the second level and blocking the linebackers. If offensive linemen do that regularly, it doesn't matter if we have Superman in there, guys. We're going to get blocked 10 yards down the field, and they're going to run on us all day long. I don't care who's your linebacker. Jerry Jones, he thinks he knows football. He don't really know that much football, as we all know already. He don't know much.
And remember, these types of injuries, they tend to be,
Overshown.
slow comebacks, right? So even if they have solid years or even good years, right?
Yeah, there's still a delay getting back to their
likely that
best.
both of them will struggle a bit.
Yeah, look, here's the thing, though. To me, Eric Kendricks is not coming back from injury. So Eric Kendricks is fine. It's more about fitting in the scheme, which he knows better than he did the Chargers over there. And he still was a leading tackler for them, a second leading tackler. So we're fine with Kendricks is great. I agree with Jerry on Kendricks. I don't agree with Jerry in the fact that they're not going to be able to stop the run if they're getting blocked. And when it comes to Overshown, he's still undersized. He's not a run stopper necessarily. He's a thumper. Yeah. But he's a run stopper specialist. So Kendricks is the run stopper specialist. We got help there, but we need somebody to take on the blocks in front of him, and that's what we don't have. So Kendricks is nullified by that. Overshown's going to improve our linebacking core. It's going to be better. Yes, I agree. We're better at linebacker. He'll still get blocked down the field if we don't get a nose tackle that can handle blocks. That's it. Simple as that. So, Jerry, you're feeding the bullshit, and I'm deciphering it and giving it to the fans, the family, the facts. That's bullshit what Jerry's saying. We fixed the run stop because of the alignment and Eric Kendricks and Overshown. Bullshit. I'm saying it right now. So when it happens in the season, you think back to this day, March 25th officially now on the East Coast, 24th. You're going to say, damn, MCF was right about that. We can't stop the fucking run. I wonder why. We got Kendricks, but we had nobody in the middle. There you go. That's what it is. Skeptical fan knows what it is with that. $2 J. Lou holler. What did Skeptical say, baby?
Giving a big old thumbs up and keeping it classic.
Hell yeah.
With the Go Cowboys.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Skeptical. Appreciate you, of course, as always.
Skeptical is currently in first place on the gifting board. And he's holding on by 2 over Jason Renfro. Ooh, nice. Much love, Skeptical, with that thumbs up. Taking Lavelle, Mr. A. Lavelle, down to 94 points in the stream boss. So anyways, that was the Jerry Jones bullshit as far as stopping the run. I think it's half bullshit, half truth. You got my opinions on that. Post your comments down below if you're watching this on the replay. And then you got one last comment by Jerry Jones about Dak Prescott. Yes, everyone's favorite quarterback in Dallas, Dak Prescott. Jerry Jones said this, quote, "I think there are a handful or more of quarterbacks playing who haven't won a Super Bowl that will win a Super Bowl. And I think Dak is one of them. I'm firm there. He's one of the ones who can." So, as you know, he has full confidence Dak's going to be able to be a quarterback that will eventually win a Super Bowl, hopefully with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones, given the implication that he is going to sign Dak to an extension of some sort, just waiting for the free agents, the big free agent money to pass. So once it gets to like $2 million contracts, you might see a deal done. So we can open up cap room for this year, and then it looks like, oh, well, now we have money to spend on $1 million players each. And then, but we could have done this now. We could have done this all now. We could have restructured them now and had $25 million to play with. $35 million if you add what we have now open. Just on a restructure. No need for Dak. It's all about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones said, nah, we'll wait. We'll extend this thing, keep us in the news. And there you go. That's the updates from Jerry Jones' own old-ass fucking mouth. There you go. So, what is going to be any quick comments on this in the chat or anything, actually, baby? Before I go moving on here.
Move on. We do have to say, have a great night. Take it easy, Skeptical fan. Appreciate you. Much love.
Always stay skeptical.
And always go Cowboys.
Always.
Now, Griff181 throwing out there, but rolling back to your conversation, saying Zimmer got the keys to stop the run.
It's about defensive alignment and Eric Kendricks. And I agree with Jerry Jones. Those two things are definitely improvements. But number 3, our Overshown's going to help our defense. No matter, I agree with that. But are we still going to be able to stop the run? This is not about if we got better on linebacker, because we did. This is about, are we going to be able to stop the fucking run? And he uses Kendricks and Overshown as the examples, but doesn't touch, and alignments, but it doesn't touch on a guy who can take on 2 blockers. So our linebackers stay clean. That is the key. I hope Zimmer has a scheme fix for this. We'll see. Because if not, we would have done it already, in my opinion.
So, let me see here. And yes, Lee's side, we do know that Overshown obviously hasn't played, which is why, like I said, the Cowboys are, putting a lot of hopes on certain individuals in general to make it happen. And at least in Overshown's case, with his injury situation, he probably will make something happen. It probably is not going to be to the level that the Cowboys are placing upon him, though.
Yeah.
At least as of now.
Depends how they use him, but he's not a run stopper. So I'm sorry, Jerry. Overshown's not your answer to stop the run, and neither is Kendricks by themselves.
And Steve asked, that's my biggest fear. He said he hopes, let's pray Overshown doesn't have a Gallup-esque type of recovery.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what's unfortunate? Steele had that issue coming back from the torn knee. So did Gallup. I expect Overshown. We don't know what he would have looked like, but he's probably not going to look like his best until next year. Just saying. Like, we haven't seen him. So he's going to probably look good, but we're going to see better of him, not this year, next year. That's just my honest opinion, guys. Now, Jerry Jones, he spoke. He was in Orlando for the meeting, and we'll go back to that in a minute. But I want to talk about the Cowboys and the draft. Because we're going to have to go. You've seen the 7 picks, but we have more than 7 holes and depth situations going on. So we got to make some free agent moves still. But I went over that, and it looks hopeless almost, right? There's a lot of players left. I don't see the Cowboys looking for any of these guys. So we know it's the draft. Will we trade down, add a couple of picks? Maybe. But we have our top 30 players, like our 30 visit players, okay? You can only pick 30 guys to visit personally your campus where you can work them out and all that stuff. Every team only gets 30 guys, not including the locals, okay? I'll explain that in a minute. So our 30 visit tracker for the Cowboys, as I said, linebacker Edgerrin Copper from Texas A&M. All right, I know we had another linebacker from Kentucky on there. Brandon Coleman, an offensive tackle from TCU, and Travis Glover, an offensive tackle from Georgia State, and of course wide receiver Malachi Corley from Western Kentucky. So we got 5 guys that we take in. And usually with these top 30, these 30 visit guys, we definitely usually grab them from there. Okay? So any of these names can come up in any of these rounds you see in front of you. But some of these names will be on this list, the top 30 visit guys that don't have to come in for the 30 visits. Let me explain why. There's a thing called the Dallas Day. Okay, it's Dallas Day, it's a Dallas Pro Day. Basically, we have our own. You get to bring in not guys that you know like college guys you want to bring in that you're interested in from all over the United States. You bring in guys that are a certain radius around from your city. Okay, that were either born in your city or around a radius of your city. I don't know if it's 100 miles or a 50-mile radius from the Dallas area, let's say. Okay, so anybody born there, going to school there, which means SMU, TCU, North Texas, those 3 colleges, automatically the Cowboys pick whoever they want because that's in the radius, plus the hometown guys. And I got the list of guys because, again, these are not top 30 visits now. These are Dallas Day Pro Day visits, and you see them all right here. You see that little D with that little, little leaf or whatever it looks. I think that is the Dallas Day insignia. I think that is that's kind of stands for Dallas Day.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the Cowboys welcoming in, as you can see here, dozens and dozens of local draft prospects for the Cowboys' annual quote Dallas Day. It's going to be in April. Keep that in mind. So the schools that are always included in Dallas Day, as you can see, TCU, SMU. You can't see the other one, which is North Texas, and all the way at the end are the hometown guys, the hometown prospects that are from other schools outside of TCU, SMU, and North Texas.
Okay.
Here are the ones we know are definitely going to be eligible. The Cowboys are going to bring in. Most of these, or not bring in, but they're going to be doing some drill work, some discussions with these guys sometime in April on one day.
We've had this, maybe temporarily bring them in language or something. That's what I'm saying. You can use bring them in if you.
At TCU, we got running back Imani Bailey, defensive back Millard Bradford, defensive lineman Tico Brown, offensive lineman Andrew Corker and Brandon Coleman, defensive lineman Rick Abreu, linebacker Jamoe Hodge, kicker Griffin Kell, defensive lineman Sonny Misi. Again, a lot of guys, Josh Newman, Willis Patrick, Mark Perry, all TCU guys. Tight end Curtis Raymond, the third wide receiver Jalen Robinson, punter Jordy Sandy, receiver Warren Thompson, and tight end Jared Wiley. SMU, you can see all the names there. Chris Adamora, and punter, defensive tackle Elijah Chapman, Jordan Miller, down that list you go. And then you see North Texas there, starting with Rod Burns, Daisian Carroll, John Davis, J.P. Hadley, and on and on and on. The ones I want you to look at, though, are the hometown list right here. You might not see that first name fully, but that is a top guy in this draft. The great thing is the Cowboys don't have to use one of their 30 spots, one of their top 30 spots or visits, to interview and check out defensive tackle Byron Murphy, the second from Texas. This guy is he's a true beast in there that can really tear shit up. And to me, it's gonna, he's a guy, if he's available for the Cowboys, I don't think he'll be available, but goddamn, I would take him in a flying minute, in a second, in a millisecond. I would take someone like him because he, to me, would be, hold on a second here, guys. He would be a perfect player for the Cowboys interior to blow shit up. I'm not saying he'd be Aaron Donald, but he would definitely have some of those, destructive characteristics in there. So he's a guy I would love. But then you could go down this list. These are hometown guys that were born in the area or lived in the area. So Aeneas Raxlaw Jr., Tavarian Sanders, Jalen Ford, Jace McKellen from Alabama, Ryan Watts, Tyler Owens, Gabriel Murphy, Darius Henderson, Xavier Gadlin, Damani Richardson, DeCorian Clark, Willie Roberts, Trey Taylor, Grayson Murphy, Jason Bell, Brennan Brown, Travion Green, Keyshawn Johnson, from Prairie View A&M, J-Ron Russell, Arlington Taylor, Jack Freeman, and Spencer Sanders, a quarterback from Ole Miss. We have, again, I think is that Deion Sanders' one of his sons? Anyways, my point here is this is the list of guys plus more the Cowboys gonna probably invite to their Dallas Day sometime in April. And these, again, bypass the need to have any top 30 visit with guys like Byron Murphy was a dominator out there, and a couple others the Cowboys probably would have liked to have to use their guys for this. Well, they don't have to. They got them in their vicinity. They got them under their schools. They got them in the the mileage, the radius around Dallas, and they can bring all these guys in, and they will, and they'll check them out. Some of these guys may be drafted or be some of the undrafteds for the Cowboys. But I thought that was interesting to see the list of guys that were eligible for this thing. I will say one other thing here. When it came to pro days, all right, Auburn had their pro day yesterday. And it included defensive back coaches from 4 different teams. So they had a lot of defensive back coaches from 4 teams: Vikings, Jets, Eagles, and Cowboys. Yeah, the Cowboys are interested in maybe an Auburn defensive back. All right, so again, they were there. I think the Cowboys are looking to maybe work out a couple of later day 2, which means like 3rd rounders, and early day 3, so 4th and 5th rounders in that defensive back position. So the Cowboys may be looking at corner, 3rd round, 5th round, cornerback. Think about that. All right, but it was a very well run workout and pro day by Hugh Freeze. He's the head coach there for Auburn, and a couple of names I'm going to bring up at cornerback, which are important to note here. The Cowboys are definitely interested in some of these guys. 3 cornerbacks. Outside cornerback, which is what we're looking for, Nehemiah Pritchett. All right. He stood in his 4th best 40 time from the combine, which is 4.36. He hit it again. He added an impressive shuttle time. And again, he's a taller cornerback. He's almost 6'1". So again, he had a 6.94 in the 3 cone, 4.27 in the short shuttle. So he's very surprising numbers, very fast and quick with the size he has as a cornerback. How about a nickel or outside kind of guy, like a Deron Bland? He could play inside or outside. DJ James from Auburn stood on a 4. He also held down his 40 combine, a 4.42 in the 40-yard combine time. And he also posted a solid 10 feet 6 inches in the broad jump, and shuttle time 7.13. The 3 cone was 4.38. So again, a lot of that was the 3 cone was 7.31. The short shuttle was the 4.38. The point in here is another cornerback the Cowboys are definitely interested. They also worked out and took a look at a versatile cornerback who can play nickel, can play outside corner, can play free safety. Jalen Simpson from Auburn. He had the 3rd fastest 40-yard dash time at the combine in the safety group, 4.45. And I think he had a 40-inch vertical jump. He had a 7.3 seconds in the 3 cone and 4.5 in the shuttle. So these 3 guys at corner, these are 3rd, 4th, and 5th round kind of guys. These are the guys the Cowboys worked out. Give me some names. Give me some facts. Another guy I hope the Cowboys took a look at was a guy that was at the Senior Bowl for Auburn. Defensive tackle, and we need defensive tackles. This might be a 5th rounder, a 3rd, I don't know, but somewhere in that 3rd, 4th, 5th round, Senior Bowl defensive tackle Marcus Harris. He was there. The Cowboys talked to him. He's an instinctive and a productive day 3 prospect, a guy the Cowboys may have to look at for the defensive line help. He showed up almost 20 pounds heavier than at the combine. So he's a little bit bigger. But it was good weight. It wasn't like just...
Okay.
It was strength, and he looked good. He did 34 bench reps, which was up from 27 he did at the combine. So already he just put up more power, more strength at this pro day. And he worked out for a lot of coaches, but specifically the Bengals defensive line coach. So it wasn't even our guy. So I don't know if the Cowboys will be looking at a day 3, 4th, or 5th round guy like Marcus Harris. But he was there. The Cowboys had their defensive back coaches there. And I would bet more on guys like Nehemiah Pritchett, DJ James, or Jalen Simpson. Those are the guys that Cowboys are probably keeping more of an eye on for Auburn's senior pro day. Now, any other quick questions on this stuff here, guys? When it comes to the rookies, when it comes to the pro days, because now we're going to finish up with the Orlando owners meeting coming up, the coaches meeting. They're going to the competition committee meeting. They're all meeting in Orlando for a major decision to be done here. And that's going to be starting tomorrow. But we're going to talk a little bit about it tonight here as we finish up the stream strong. Any comments on these other things, though, maybe, when it comes to the pro days and rookies?
I'm just going to read this One or two here. Chapstick for your coochie lips. What's up? Saying we just need a tank so that we can get Deion Sanders' sons next season.
Shit, that's all right. We're not gonna tank for Deion Sanders' sons, and we don't know how that's gonna necessarily end up. But I'll say one thing: I would never put anything. I would never assume anything without Jerry Jones. When he has his hands involved, he might want to bring back the whole Sanders group. So, bring back former player kind of thing. I can see Jerry doing that. You just know he can do it. But
Mike Agdana also saying 20 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, came back bigger. So I'm sure there's a little bit of fat in there, but it was good weight. So
Jerry Jones also said in the chat, you want Shedeur Sanders, but I'll give you the Dollar Tree version of Sanders.
Yeah,
from Ole Miss.
That's what I'm saying. So he's a guy the Cowboys are looking at right now. From Ole Miss, the quarterback there with the Cowboys. I would not put it past the Cowboys to either draft him late or undrafted, bring him in just as a Sanders. Deion Sanders will be around the Cowboys now. And that's what Jerry loves. He loves it. And remember, Deion Sanders is the guy Jerry brought in. That was the only good move Jerry ever did. Other than bringing Jimmy Johnson as a general manager, as a GM, he brought in, after Switzer and after taking over and after all that shit, he went in there and he brought in Deion Sanders from the Niners and gave us a Super Bowl for that move. On everything else was because Jimmy Johnson's players and coaches and staff was there. But, yeah, that was the one good move Jerry really did. And that move, is something that he'll love to bring back all the Sanders to the Cowboys. Watch. I would not be surprised. But I don't want the Sanders crew right now. I just don't know if they're going to be good enough yet, so we'll have to wait and see.
El Cool said, I watched every Colorado game last year. Shedeur Sanders is way overrated.
Agreed.
Holds the ball way too long and takes sacks.
Agreed.
Best in college at taking a sack.
And that's my issue. I'm not going to go with Shedeur Sanders because he's the cool name we talked about last year. I'm not. And again, maybe the guy from Ole Miss, his older brother, maybe he's the guy who comes to Dallas as a third stringer. And we get rid of Trey Lance or we get rid of Cooper. But just because of a name, we don't play around with it. Jerry Jones may, but we, as a fan, I hope not. That's all.
So, anyway, we can keep it rolling here, baby.
Let's keep it rolling. As we come down the home stretch, guys. So, today, the annual it's again, the league, they're all there. They are all the coaches and the owners and competition committee people and executives. They all arrived to Orlando earlier today. But it wasn't a work day today. Today was a meeting with the media, sitting outside kind of day, and take some pictures and hang out kind of day. So, because of that, I'm going to start with the coaching situation because the big deal was not the coaching situation. The coaches met beforehand, the head coaches, and took pictures. So McCarthy, you figure he's going to be around there, right? When you look at the picture, I looked for McCarthy, nowhere to be found. They always take an annual head coach's photo for 2024. There is no Mike McCarthy in the picture.
Really weird considering, I'm just saying, we've used McCarthy's smiling cheese and face on that picture in previous thumbnails, amongst other things. So, it definitely happened.
But Dan Quinn is there. Just as weird to see Dan Quinn there. Anyways, just because he's, we saw him last time as the head coach for the Washington Commanders. Yeah. But Mike McCarthy was not there because he was in Auburn and other places doing pro day stuff. I don't mind that. It don't need to be no damn coach's photo. But the guys that were not. There was about 5 or 6 guys that weren't in the photo. I think 5 guys. Mike Tomlin, Sean Payton, Nick Sirianni, Matt Eberflus, and Mike McCarthy. Those are the only coaches that would not show up for this Orlando photograph of all the coaches, all right? So let's move on from McCarthy and go to what's going on when it comes to these owners' meetings. And we'll just put Jerry Jones up there. But Jerry Jones, and let's be real, guys, Stephen Jones too. Stephen Jones is part of the competition committee. So he's there as well.
The Joneses.
Yeah. So the word here at the owners and the competition committee is that this is a Colts proposal to allow reviews of all calls, including penalties, in the final 2 minutes of each half. Even if it's just, it's not about challenging it. It's about every play can be reviewed if it's close. Under 2 minutes in the half, under 2 minutes in the game. All right? Those talks have stalled. Minimal traction. That's not happening. So let's go. Stephen Jones, not that he didn't say this, but he's part of the competition committee. They already are saying, the owners, Jerry Jones, they're saying, no, we don't like reviewing any call at any time in the last 2 minutes of a half or a game. It's not going to happen. So we can forget about that deal. The owners already scrubbed that. The owners are trying to figure out if they should go and approve this reimagined kickoff play. All right? And you know that, Stephen Jones, he pushed this to be on the ballot to the voting of the owners, right? This is going to be voted on tomorrow. So that means Jerry Jones and the rest of the owners got to come up with an answer to this question, which our own guy put in an incredible amount of work on this. We're going to hear from him now. And that's John Fossil. So as the owners are considering approving a reimagined kind of remade kickoff play similar to the XFL, Cowboys' John Fossil is among the special teams coordinators that are also in Orlando, Florida. He's also there. And he's gonna present and support the decision for the decision to change the kickoffs at the league's annual meeting. Coming up tomorrow, basically, as it starts. They're gonna try to adopt this for 2024. It has momentum for this new kickoff to start off this year. Last month, Super Bowl didn't have a single kickoff. We talked about that, and that lingers on the NFL's kind of mind when they say they want to change it up. We know Fossils talked about why it's very important to make the kickoffs relevant again. John Fossil added that if the new kickoff does not get approved on Monday, it will be approved eventually in the next owners meeting, which is going to be, I think, in Nashville, Tennessee in May. So keep that in mind, guys. If some of these rules don't get passed or don't have enough votes, expect from John Fossil himself saying this, it will be eventually passed. And I don't mean just like it could be passed maybe next year, but eventually this new kick, it has to be passed or the kickoffs are dead. The kickoffs are over. And that's what his kind of thoughts on it.
I don't think that the NFL can, quote unquote, afford to go another season with such lackluster
play. Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to that, especially a part of the game that obviously used to be
much more important,
exciting too.
So how is this going to work? Let me explain it, maybe, because this is how we're going to end it with what Fossil said today. So Cowboys special team coach John Fossil is the guy who is pushing this the most, the new kickoff rule. Trying to get it over the line, over the end zone, kind of. The owners are going to vote. Jerry Jones and the rest of the owners are going to vote on Monday, tomorrow, on this new kickoff play, which, of course, as we know, draws heavy inspiration from the kickoff model from the XFL, which they used the last 2 years. And this guy right here, John Fossil, compiled footage of every single kickoff in the in the XFL to show the reason why it can work in the NFL. And most of the owners agree. Now, here's the thing that's crazy. Again, Fossil expects that if the owners don't renew it, if they don't ratify this new kickoff rule tomorrow, it will happen in May. That's when the owners will reconvene in Nashville, Tennessee for their spring meeting. McCarthy said this, and remember, guys, he said this after Sunday's kind of discussion. He said this, quote, John's been working on this for a couple of years. It's been cool to watch it grow, particularly in the offseason. He's cut the XFL video up. I thought the presentation was good. And just like anything, it's so new. We all have a lot of questions. Also, Andy Reid was asked, what do you think about this new kickoff rule? And he mentioned John Fossil, and he said, quote, he's sharp, he's a smart guy, and he's got a good handle of all the different options it presents. So he's a good one to talk to. It sounds like there's a lot of questions like McCarthy has. It sounds like Andy Reid said, let's ask this guy right here, John Fossil, who seems to have all the answers. So that's great news right there. So again, I do believe that, that is a good place for this kickoff rule to kind of start making the switch. Remember, it wasn't getting much traction after the Super Bowl. And then in 2 months, in a month and a half, it's gained so much traction. Now it's expected to pass by May at the latest. So when you look at this, guys, again, like I said, John Fossil spoke, and his quote was, it's going to pass at some point. Hopefully, the sooner, the better. Now, if for some reason they don't vote on this tomorrow, on Monday, they will table the vote until the May 20, 21st, and 22nd gathering, which will then allow the owners more time to digest the rule change. I think that's the major thing. If they don't vote on it, it's because they're close. They don't want to vote on it, and then it fails, and then they're dead. So if it's close, it gives them another month and a half to kind of get this push going and kind of get those last couple of votes they may need in May, at the end of May. So we're talking about 2 months, basically, from now. So again, guys, you got to remember, there was actually a change to this as well today. The owners actually wanted a change to the rule, the kickoff rule. So let me just explain the whole thing. It calls the entire kickoff team, aside from the kicker, at its own, at their own. Basically, they start off. The kicker starts at his own 35-yard line, kicking off the ball. But the rest of your kickoff team stands at the opponent's 40-yard line. Those 10 players cannot move until the ball is kicked and reaches an opponent. So once you kick off, the people on the 40, on the other team's 40, don't run. They got to wait until that ball is touched by the returner. So you don't start running when it's kicked off. They got to wait until
when contact is made, basically.
When contact with the ball is made. Yes.
Well, I figured that
we
was
have to
implied there since you mentioned the ball, but yes.
I know some people could be thinking they're running into each other.
I agree, but yes, when contact with the ball is made.
Yeah, let's stick with catching the ball on that. That's probably better. So the thing is this, guys, either when it touches the player or it reaches the designated landing zone, which is between the goal line and the 20-yard line. If someone lets the ball bounce on the 15, then again,
fair game, right? Well,
it's fair game, but it's also that if no one touches it, once it hits the ground, you run.
Okay.
Or once it hits the player's hand, you run. If you're covering the kickoff, and so the play kind of starts when the returner touches the ball. As soon as that returner touches the ball, the play starts. They run down they run from the 40, and the others on the offensive side, the return team is on the 35. They're 5 yards away. So once they get touched, boom! It's like a 5-yard blocking play. 10-on-10 blocking, and from 5 yards distance instead of being on the line of scrimmage. So that's kind of what it's going to go down to. And it's interesting what they call it here, guys, because at least 9 members of the return team must align in a 5-yard area called the setup zone between their own 25 and 30-yard line. A maximum of 2 returners can stand in the landing zone, which is 20-yard line to the goal line, on your own side. John Fossil kind of expanded on this. Because, again, that's kind of a little slight rule change here. They want to make sure they kind of fix things a little bit. And I'll explain that in a minute. But what are Fossil saying about this? Again, the way it's set up, you have to have 9 guys on a 35-yard line. You can set up 2 returners back on offense. On the defense kickoff side, you got to have all 9 guys on the 40-yard line, and 1 kicker. And when you kick off, it doesn't start until it hits into the 20-yard line or behind it, or it hits the player's hand, the returner's hands. Then both teams can start blocking and attacking the ball. So what did John Fossil say about this whole thing?
This is what it is. In the NFL right now, you kick it off and everybody runs. But if you say, right when the ball is caught, boom, pause it, where is everybody on kickoff and kickoff return? What we're saying is that's where we are starting the play. We're just not running to get to that spot.
Remember, guys, where is the ball in the air? What he's trying to say is when there's a kickoff and the ball is caught, where is the kickoff coverage team usually at?
Yeah.
Around the 40 of the opponent. And where's the other team blocking? Where's that line at when that kickoff is caught by the returner? Around their own 35. So that's where their own 35, their own 40 is where they collide once that ball is touched. So it's basically, you're going to have a chance to get a good run out of there. If it's not a good kick into the end zone, you can run it out of there, and you're ready. You should get past that 20. You should be able to get to maybe the 30 or 35-yard line. It's going to be much more exciting if they put this in there. What else did he say, baby?
He said, now, with our idea, the ball gets kicked, and as soon as it gets kicked, now everybody goes. It's really the same play once the ball gets caught. You're just taking out all the speed and all the big collisions from all the speed and space.
And this is all about the injury situations. Remember, if they got to run all the way from their own 40 and then they start hitting the other player on the 30, that's 30 yards of speed you're gaining. Well, the other team is getting, 20 yards also, 30 yards into your speed. So it's kind of like Braveheart when they collide in each other on the field. It's on the battlefield. It's like just huge collisions. And, of course, in NFL, it causes concussions and injuries. It's like a 25% increase in injuries on kickoffs until the new rule, which now it's become kickoffs have been extinct. So now the kickoffs people are not getting injured on kickoffs because of the tackling. They're getting injured because of the speed running down the field and getting hit. So Fossil expects a significant increase when it comes to kickoffs that are returned. Because last year it was like 20% return kickoffs. That's horrible. So that's the lowest ever. So Fossil expects an increase in kickoffs that are returned And he expects an increase of starting field position as well. So, again, also, he believes there'll be more kickoffs that are returned for touchdowns. It's going to be hard. It's going to be easier to return kickoffs for touchdowns. It's going to be easier to get some more yardage on a kickoff than just going the end zone on the 25. It's going to be now, 25 ain't that hard when the blocking starts at the 35 and you get the ball as soon as, that moment it touches your hands is when they start running down the field they might be only 30, 40 yards away from you. But now you make a move or two, you could be gone. That's how this is going to go. So, I want to make sure people understand that, on a per play basis, this new kickoff projects to be safer than the predecessor. Of course, running down the field, right? Although the number of return kickoffs could result in a higher number of injuries because now they're actually hitting each other and there's actually plays going on instead of just running on the field and the ball goes out of bounds, at the back of the end zone. Now the balls are going to be returned more, which means there'll be some other, not concussion injuries, but other injuries happening on these plays more often. But again, it says more about how few kickoffs were returned last year. Only 22% of the kicks were returned. And the new kickoff, he said, it'll probably be a new kickoff now is going to, basically the injury stuff will be resembling what a designed running play looks like on offense. When you get the ball in Turpin's hand on some edge, on some, reverse or something like that, that's kind of what the kickoffs are going to look like. Think of it like that. Like Cavante Turpin gets the handoff from Dak in the shotgun, and then he goes to the right. Like it's kind of like they catches the ball and goes to the right or goes left. You got 10 guys blocking in front of you, and it starts, with everybody like near you already. So it's kind of like an in-play game. It's kind of like an in-play already. It's already a play that's kind of almost ongoing, except it's the kickoff. And it's going to be able to produce more yardage and more touchdowns, but also probably a couple more injuries as well. So when you look at this in the whole situation, guys, the NFL Competition Committee, which is Stephen Jones' side of things, they did make one revision to the rule proposal. If a kickoff team does, catch the ball and has a touchback, the return team's offense will start at its own 30-yard line now. Yeah, guys. The previous language said it'll start at 35. So last year, it was at 25. Now they wanted to get it to the 35. The owners said, no, we want to change that. So they moved it to the 30, which I actually think it should be 25 or 30.
Look,
I don't like 35 is where you're halfway down the field. Jesus.
I don't disagree, but it seems like at least this was a happy compromise, right?
Yeah.
They literally just met in the middle.
Yeah. Well, 35-yard line to me is way too much. But again, maybe they want to force people to kick the ball into that landing zone. They don't want to kick it out of the end zone. But now the penalty, instead of going to the to the 25 like last year or the 20 in previous years, it's the 30-yard line now instead of the 35, which is what the initial plan was. So, maybe some people, if you have not a good blocking situation going on, you want to take a knee in the end zone, take it at the 30. Because you don't want just too many guys on top of you at that point. Yeah. But, if you get a little bit of blocking, you get it past that 30. So that kind of brings it into a really interesting kind of dilemma for kickoff, for guys like Fossil running special teams and kicking teams and stuff like this. So I thought that was an interesting little adjustment. Moved it back from the 35 on the touchback to the 30-yard line. So one last thing I want to say, well, a couple last things, but John Fossil didn't finish. He wasn't over because it wasn't just, he was the main presenter here, but he also got New Orleans Saints special teams coordinator, Darren Rizzi. Darren Rizzi joined John Fossil in the presentation that they had last Monday. And they also both met with the competition committee last month at the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. They're also both here at this Orlando meeting. And what did Mr. Fossil say about Darren Rizzi and him kind of joining forces there and trying to get this new kickoff rule passed? What did he say about that?
Riz and I were saying, hey, whatever those tweaks we need to make, fine. We just want to get this play in. We'll continue to make amendments to it, whether it's at the end of training camp or next spring. I don't want to say I know it's going to pass. At some point, this is going to be trialed, so we might as well do it now. If we wait until next year, it's like, well, why didn't we just do it this week?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if they got all their ducks in a row, then just do it now this year. It's not gonna be a killer. It's good to try it out and let's see if it works. The NFL Competition Committee did meet earlier today, and unanimously approved the tweak from the 35 to the 30. Just so you guys know, it's official now. Making touchbacks, again, that go out of the end zone or get called, get a fair catch, touchback, 30-yard line instead of 35. This change provides kicking teams a less punitive option if they don't want to take a chance on a long return. So instead of kicking the ball out of the end zone and just saying, okay, we don't want this dangerous, we don't want Cavante Turpin returning the ball on us, right? So they kick it out of the end zone because this new rule is going to change shit. And if anybody knows how these rules go when it comes to returns, it's Cavante Turpin. I mean, he was the best returner in the XFL. In these, again, he's going to have these guys. It's going to be like a all-out play. It's like everybody try to kill the guy with the ball, and it's going to be something where I think guys like Cavante Turpin kind of thrive in that world. So I think it's going to work good for playmaking type returners, and we got one. At least that's a good time for us. But if teams are scared of Turpin, they just get the ball out of bounds and we get the ball in the 30. I mean, already you're like 40 yards away. You're like a couple first downs away from a field goal. So that's a penalty. I like the way that this is working. This is looking to be. Now the NFL owners. Let me just say this one last thing. The last part of this, we know that this man right here, John Fossil Bones, did everything possible to try to get this thing passed. But tomorrow is the first moment of truth. That's where Jerry Jones and all the owners officially will cast their vote or push it for a, kind of pushing it to a
let's talk about it later.
What's it called? What's that called? Yeah, I forgot what not defer, but they called it something else. Like basically table it till May 20th in Tennessee. Okay. So that's the two options. It's not going to be denied. I think it'll either be passed and voted on tomorrow, or it will not sure. So it's going to go to be it's going to be held off on until 2 months from now. So the word is, though, guys, the NFL owners voting on Monday on this new proposed kickoff. 3 people briefed on the potential rule change said that there is optimism in Orlando that, this antiquated kickoff situation, which has been largely reduced to a sprint down the field in the last couple of years. The feeling is it is bound for a facelift now. It's overdue for a change. So it sounds like Jerry, and it sounds like I think 80% have to vote yes. It sounds like it's close to 80%. So they might take that vote, and if it's close enough, guys, remember that if it's like 30 no's and 2 yeses, that's done. It's not going to be re-voted on. Exactly. But if it's like 20 yeses and and 12 no's, and they need a couple more, they're going to vote on it. It won't pass, and it'll be tabled once again and re-voted on in May.
In a future.
Yeah, in the end of May, and that's when it will be the last chance to get it in. It might get in tomorrow. It might get in. It might get in the end of May. But the point is, now you guys know this is like a major rule change. It's going to change football and the way it's played on kickoffs. Like upside down. It's going to be completely different. So
also,
I'm excited to see it.
Like more owners than you think are in support of this, just because again they also have a vested interest in keeping the entire game exciting, not just like
limit injuries, but also keep it exciting. And also the Players Association has to agree. So they want to limit injuries. But they also want to have guys get paid for returning punts all the time, or kickoffs, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the NFLPA has to find it fair for the guys actually doing the work.
A good middle ground, I get you. So on that note, guys, guess what? It's a wrap right here on MCF tonight on My Cowboys Family. Told you it was going to be a little Cowboy Quickie. A little Quickie for you guys. And again, what was this one? An hour and change, an hour and 20 minutes. It's about right. Guys, it's a wrap here. Now, I will say there may be a little more fun going on afterwards, hereafter, in an hour or so. So make sure you guys check out MCF After Dark if you're interested in that. And we do have some people to crown here when it comes to our family winners for this week. So, we're going to do that here in a minute. I do want to give major shout-outs to those that dropped the love tonight, I'll say specifically. And I
know kicking things off as far as the drops of love was Dwayne Broussard.
Damn right. Dwayne Broussard with that Dak drop earlier. We had another total of Dak drops by Calvin Richard. We had Skeptical Fan dropping in some J. Lou love. And Mr. A. Lavelle with the 3-5 in it. Much love to him. Of course, we also had William Burney back in the membership, Big D jumping in the membership, LC with multiple drops after dark. The same thing with Sco971, who's in second place on our overall board. You had 12th Man, you got Scorpio, Dwayne Broussard, Skeptical, everybody. Thank you guys for dropping in on the After Dark or on this show here and dropping the love from above. Cannot do it without you all. But as I say, we give our last hurrahs now, right, to those that rep these boards this entire week. We're gonna have some new names, it looks like. And let me start off when it comes to that sponsor of the week, and let me just put it into a nice big bow. Sponsor of the week and the Cash App King, Dead Fool, repping it this week, first time ever. Gets a bonus raffle entry for next week's, or I guess maybe the beginning of next Monday, not tomorrow, but next Monday we might have the raffle. Either way, Dead Fool, much love to you. He brought it after dark, and he might bring it again after dark. He was close this week again, 6th place on the board, but cannot overcome everybody else on the Cash App and the Sponsor of the Week board. A. Lavelle, 94 points there. He's holding it down for tomorrow, starting a new week. And then, of course, on the gifting board, Jason Renfro, much love to him. He represented it this week, but with the same 3 gifted memberships. Like Jason got the crown for the gifting side of things.
That's right.
That's what Skeptical Fan did today or this week. He's got 3 on it, and he's going to get that crown. So we'll be repping Mr. Skeptical Fan. He had 3 months in a row as our membership gift giving king. So appreciate him once again as he regains his title as the membership gifter, membership gifting champion. Much love to him. And who's going to take over the Cash App and Sponsor of the Week board? Well, above you see Skeptical Fan on the gifting board, but it's the guy that we all here know and love. Much love to McLovin. After dark on here, he's dropped the lower place. He's a Dolphin fan, but he's an MCF fan as well. Much love to McLovin, who's going to be the Cash App King and that Sponsor of the Week, who, by the way, I think it's going to be I think it'll be 4 out of 5 weeks he's been the Sponsor of the Week, and 6 out of 7 weeks he's been the Cash App King. Something like that. I think he might have missed 2 in a row, actually. Either way, the man's been dominating. Much love to McLovin. And we'll kick off a new week, see if he has a new streak on his mind. Will he go back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys? We'll see what happens. But he's going to be the king of the Cash App and the Sponsor Week starting tomorrow. So thank you on that note, on that side of things. All you guys repping it here. As you can see, there's little eyeballs looking in there, right? Little After Dark. Go follow him over there. Go follow the After Dark guy and subscribe if you want to have some real late night, crazy fun panels, cursing, drinking, partying, but music and a lot of stuff going on there. But at the same time, all those are deleted. So once it ends, you can't see them again. It's like our party streams here. And on top of that, you cannot rewind them and see what happened. You got to be there or be square. You either see it live or you're denied. That's it. So that's the rules on MCF After Dark. We'll talk about that some other time. That's no football there, everything else. Here, only Cowboys football. And that's how we roll. It's almost 7 years straight. Who's in the house? This is those final shout-outs and say goodnight for tonight and for the week.
Oh, of course. And KD, much love.
Yeah.
And guys, yes, MCF After Dark, there's no link. You gotta
find it.
You gotta find it.
If you type in MCF After Dark, you'll be there. But hey, KD, it gets crazy. There's a lot of crazy shit. I don't censor anything. So it gets crazy. Sometimes you have naked women. Sometimes you have people... I'm saying, so there's naked women running around. Sometimes you have a lot of unfortunate cursing and derogatory comments. I warn everybody. It's politics spoken there. So it's crazy. That's why it's not really connected to this show, but it is connected.
Yeah, we just want everybody to have a clear idea of what they're getting into.
Yeah.
So if
it gets crazy.
Maybe you're Baskin Robbins 31 flavor, right? So
if you like it, join it.
Go.
If you don't, then I would not be interested. I would not get into that if you were.
There you go. But yeah, so Chappelle Hannon, KD, Stephen White, Rolando Rodriguez, Jerry Jones, who said, I have fans, many in the stadium. I think the last 2 fans you had, Jerry, were found out in Ford Field. So
yeah,
transport them nice and far away so that you can't,
They were Jimmy Hoff under Giant Stadium.
Oh, let me see who else is here. John Slime, much love. Even you, Philly. Chappelle Hannon, shout out to you. Let me see. Mike Aldana, you already know. Jarrett Jones.
I did this only once. I posted the link, but I'm going to delete it in a minute. So I'm just giving everybody a couple minutes to get in there.
Philly. Seabass,
Fuck
much
Philly.
love.
Over everything King.
himself.
Much love to Mr. Seabass.
Let me see. Chapstick.
Seabass jumps over there.
Lips.
Seabass jumps over there sometimes. That just caught me off guard. The
Oh,
coochie
cool.
lips.
What's up? Oh, trust me, I know. Last Sick Aguilar 04, Griff181, Skeptical Fan. Yeah, it's as far back as it lets me go, at least on my side. So, there we go.
That's a wrap then,
With
guys.
that said, guys, yes, you know.
I know we're coming back tomorrow for a whole new, brand new week. And we'll see if the Cowboys will do wave 3 and 4 coming here free agency. Will the Cowboys do anything? I gave you guys about 50 names. We got to grab a couple of them. We got to. Guys, thank you for joining us. And baby, before we get out of here and go to After Dark sessions, that's run by only me here, yours truly. I'm the one who does it. The wife's saying, I got insomnia, so I get up. I stay up another couple hours here. So instead of just chilling, doing nothing, trying to sleep and look at the wall, I said, let's do some After Dark fun. And it's been rolling, guys. It's been rolling since the new year, since January. So join in if you want the part of the fun. You might have to join it a couple times to pick up on some of the characters and the backgrounds. But it's all fun if you get into it. This is a late night, dirty ass soap opera. Anyways, guys, before we can get out of here, baby, let them know why we do this each and every night on My Cowboys Family for almost 7 years straight.
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, here on My Cowboys Family, we always rep that star over everything. And baby, here on this channel, again, July 1st, it's 7 years on YouTube. My Cowboys Family, never ever forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long. All night. Thank you, guys. Seriously, we can't do this without your 2 cents on our team. Also, cannot do this without the drops of love from above. So truly appreciate all you guys have dropped it, whether on After Dark or here. But tonight, it was Dwayne Broussard, A. Lavelle, Calvin Richard, and Skeptical Fan. Thank you, guys. But now as we clock out and drop out for the night and relock and reload for not just a new show, but a whole new week tomorrow. And, of course, After Dark, which actually After Dark kicks off a new week. Just letting you know. So, we know we do all that stuff there. Guys, we'll be back again soon before we can completely drop out and clock out and relock and reload for a new week tomorrow. Tell them what we got to do before we get on out of here and drop out for the night.
We got to drop the beat.
Yeah, beat's been dropped. And it's a wrap right here on My Cowboys Family, MCF style. Guys, we'll see you on After Dark. We'll see you tomorrow for a new week. Either way, stay safe and much love to all. We hope you guys enjoyed another show here. A quickie, a Cowboy Quickie. Should have been almost Cowboys chat at this point. But a Cowboy Quickie. And a wrap-up of the day, the week's Cowboy news here. Info and updates. Right here on a Cowboy Quickie chat. Stephen Jones, hey, we got no money, but he got money. Jerry and Zimmer, they're like, here we go again. We got to find some way of filling these holes out. And of course, see in the background there, Ford Field, the Ford Center, a lot of X's on those free agents of our own, right? Only a couple question marks remain. And the only one that's really going to have a chance of coming back, it ain't going to be J-Ron Curse up there. I mean, the one next to McCarthy's ear. It's a Stephon Gilmore. Let's see what happens, right? Something's got to happen this week. We'll be here on MCF this week, repping that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything, guys. Never forget the number one thing right here, My Cowboys Family. Much love to all you guys, even the haters out there. We'll see you on MCF After Dark if you find it. We'll see you there tonight, maybe tomorrow night, the night after that. But make sure you don't forget for this stream to hit the notification, to hit the like button. I'm sorry, it helps the analytics big time. Of course, subscribe to the channel, keep it growing, and of course, hit that notification bell so you know we're going live. Make sure you have it set to all videos. Follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family. Follow us, jump in and join the Discord. All the rest of the information is in the description down below. Much love to everyone. Hope you had a great week, a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace, love. Never ever forget, go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.